In the beginning of the story, we see Jonny picking up his things and going out to meet his friends. A few days ago, everyone's graduation was over. So, everyone planned a small trip for celebration. They will go to a quiet village from the crowd of the city, where there is a huge lake. In this lake, the boys and girls of the city come to roam around. Some cut the wire, some do boating and spend time. After a while, they reach there. Seeing the place, everyone is very excited. Laughing from the car while picking up the bag. They keep shooting and making videos. The group's cameraman, Jake, gives everyone an intro. And jokingly says, "Who wants to be what in the future?" Then all the things are set in the lake below. There, an old rowing boat is thrown on top of it. Everyone takes the boat to the water. But in the midst of this joy, Jonny is unwell from the inside. He is having a bad dream again and again. As if he is waiting for something bad in front of him. At the same time, he worries too much about the cat's disability. So, he goes to the cat in a protective necklace. And says, "Put this on your neck for your safety." The cat forgets the matter. He says, "If necessary, I will put it on." Jonny goes to say something. His eyes are filled with worry. Just then, he is seen in front of Mr. Parks. The boy lives near the lake. And he was repairing his boat's engine. While talking, when Parks can understand, the boys and girls take the boat to the middle of the lake. Then his face becomes difficult. He warns Jonny. He says, "It is a mistake to come near the lake. Do you have a plan or not?" Mr. Parks's words make it clear. The boy is not just scared. He knows the truth. His face is as if there is a scary mystery in the lake. And if that mystery is revealed, no one will leave. He tells Jonny, "If you can understand the truth, then tell your friends. They also have to understand what kind of trouble may come in front of them." But Jonny does not take the matter seriously. He says with a slight laugh, he will not lose his freedom. Just then, Parks tells Jonny to put on his necklace like last time. His tone is as if there is some special power inside that small necklace. Jonny stays silent for a while. Then he does not come to his senses. Then everyone gets up on the boat and goes to the middle of the lake. In the beginning, everything is very fun. The wind, the water, the chit-chat of friends. Everyone gathers to celebrate. But in the middle, Jonny can see a wonderful dance under the water. The shadow that goes in front of the eyes goes away. He comes back again. Jonny's mouth opens. His nightmare comes to mind again. Just then, Matt says, "Let's all cut the net together." Kitty and Deborah also agree together. Jonny wants to stop them. He says the name in the water will not be right. But no one listens. For fun, everyone jumps into the water and cuts the net. The atmosphere is even more crowded. Simon sets up a party. He gets up in a bad word. Jonny becomes even more unstable hearing this word. He thinks he has made a big mistake. After a while, when everyone is laughing next to the boat, suddenly, everyone gets scared. But then he sees Matt. He was just having fun. But a little later, Matt goes back to the middle of the lake. And he keeps talking to Kitty and Deborah. Just then, the boat starts to move again. Now the chaos is not as light as before. Now the boat is moving much faster than before. Jonny is sinking towards the water. And just when he sees this, his head turns. There is a huge, terrifying creature under them. It's not like a shadow. It's really, really big. Kitty is also very uncomfortable. When everyone gets up screaming, then Kitty, Deborah and Matt come towards the fast boat. Somehow everyone gets back on the boat. Now the fear is clear in everyone's eyes. They hold on to the net to save themselves. Then they jump on the water. So that the ugly creature stays away. But just then, there is another big problem. Simon's one net gets wet and falls into the water. Deborah goes down in front of it. And at that moment, a huge fish-like monster comes out of the water and jumps towards Deborah. Deborah somehow gets down at the last moment. Her life is saved. But she is hit by a terrible carp. After pulling her to the corner of the boat, everyone is bleeding from her hands. The chief has cut a line. And Deborah is getting weak very quickly. But Deborah does not break. She has to pinch her teeth and bring the bag back. Otherwise, we are all over. Matt goes to get the bag. But just then, the monster comes in front of her again. Now she breaks the bag with her huge teeth. The situation becomes even more dangerous. Jake screams and shouts at his friends. But then it is too late. Deborah can no longer survive. The fire and the bleeding make her give up. The terrible carp keeps cutting around the boat. Now everyone understands. This is no fun, no prank. John's nightmare is coming true. And the blood dripping from Deborah's body keeps spilling into the water. As if the lake is eating their fear even more. Matt holds Deborah's hands up. So that the smell of blood spreads a little less and the terrible fish cannot come near. On this side, Simon tries to pull the boat by walking fast. But the huge monster rises again in the gap between the boat and the water. In the middle of the moment, he hits the boat. Simon pulls the boat and hits the boat. But the boat goes into the body of the monster. So the creature is seen more clean. Huge, slender, and terrifying. At this time, Matt thinks that Jonny is not moving like others. As if he has understood something inside. Simon comes towards Jonny and asks, "You had the idea from the beginning. Why don't you tell us?" He whispers, "If you don't tell the truth, Jonny will throw you in the water." Jonny shakes his head and says, "It was not certain that everyone would really take the lake and cut it. He never wanted such a thing." On this side, Jack shakes his head. He says, "This monster is moving towards the smell of blood. So they can use Deborah's body as a cannon. As long as the monster is sitting there, they will try to reach the island by throwing the boat with their hands." Hearing this, everyone's stomach gets full. But they have to take precautions to survive. Everyone says goodbye to the friend with a heavy heart. And throws Deborah's body into the water. Within a few seconds, the monster drags him down. Then everyone starts running around, and throws the body in their hands. But no one cares. Jack does not help. He records the whole incident with his GoPro camera. A little later, Jack sees that the monster has finished hunting him. And now he is coming back to the boat again. Seeing the map, water has frozen inside the boat. So he says, "We have to throw this out first." He uses whatever he gets. He uses the lid of his cooler as a blanket. But the cold water drags the monster again. And now he wipes off the lid. At some point, they realize that they have nothing in their hands. The situation is even more dangerous. Then Jack says, "Throw the food in the water. Maybe the monster will go the other way." Everyone hurriedly throws the food, but nothing works. The monster does not stop. He goes even closer. He spreads hope among everyone. The terror goes into the eyes and mouth. Just then, Jack gives a terrible proposal with a cold head. He says, "We have to make another person a top among us. Only then the rest will be able to survive. I will vote on his words and tell him who is the weakest. And I will tell everyone why he needs to be left alone." Hearing this, a fight begins among the friends. Fear changes people. Now everyone is dying to save their own lives. At the same time, the monster covers the boat again, so that their destruction is faster. Matt shrieks and says, "Stop the fight. Vote now. Otherwise, we will all die." Simon and Matt say, "The two of us are the strongest. So we have to stay on the boat. Only then will the speed reach the island." Kitty says with a frown on her face, One day I will be a great singer. I will inspire millions of people. I can't die here. At this moment, Jack blames Jonny. He says, Jonny is responsible for Deborah's death. Then he says his dream. One day he will be a great film director. So the most important thing is to stay on the boat. After all this, the final vote begins. As soon as the vote begins, Simon and Jack vote against Jonny. Kitty votes against Jack to save Jonny. And Matt says to do the same. But Matt shrieks and says, Jonny is strong. He has a better chance of staying on the boat. So he doesn't save Jonny either. This is how the principle works. Jonny has to be the top. Hearing the result, Jonny does not hesitate. He stands quietly. Then he turns towards Kitty. There is only one thing in his eyes. Don't be afraid. He says, I will come back to save you. Without thinking of anything else, he dives straight into the water. After a few seconds, everyone gets scared. Because Jonny has gone to the other side of the lake in a hurry. On this side, the other 3 people on the boat are driving the boat like crazy. And on that side, Jonny dives again and again to save himself. So that the demon can't catch him. After a while, Jonny goes blind. There is a fight inside the boat again. Jake and Kitty are blaming each other. Simon goes to Reggie and says, shut up and drive the boat. Otherwise, we will all be eaten. But the fight does not stop. And this screamer Chachamaki brings the demon back again. Now he attacks again. Out of 3 fears, Jonny is looking for something inside the boat that can be used to fight. Just then, a pot bag falls into the hands of Kitty. At the same time, they burn the flare and pot and stab the demon. In a bad voice and a sharp voice, the ferocious creature stops for a while. Then it goes into the depths of the lake. These few seconds are a little easy for them. But everyone knows it's only temporary. But just then, the boat is sinking slowly under their feet. The water inside has become heavy. And the wood in the old wind is opening its mouth to scream. Simon says, we have to somehow drown the demon. Otherwise, it's over. Jack says, there is definitely another way. Definitely. But just at that moment, like a shadow under the water, the huge demon comes back again. The 3 of them have the same fear. Now there is no place to hide. Simon screams and says, we don't have time. Take action now. Then his brother tries to destroy the mat. Jack has to be thrown into the water. Otherwise, we will all die. Jack understands his situation is critical. So he starts walking with him. He says, if you leave me, you will meet again in the city. I have recorded everything. At first, he thinks this hunky will save him. But when he sees that the work is not happening, then he throws another big poison. Jack says, Matt's girlfriend is pushing him and he has proof. Then he says, Simon and Kitty used to meet, he knows that too. Everyone goes crazy. Jack says, he has recorded their conversation and meeting many times. Simon gets angry. He punches Jack in the face and tells Matt to throw him out now. Jack wants to die. He says, make Kitty the top. She is weak and she is not trustworthy. But now Matt stays quiet. He doesn't go anywhere else. He starts walking straight. At last, the 3 of them decide to throw Jack from the ship. Jack understands that he will not survive with the splash of water. But he tries to get on the ship. He wants to hold his hand. Jack tries to get on the ship but Simon throws him down. Jack says, I am recording everything. But now no one hears his voice. Within a few seconds, the snake swallows him. There is only one hand on the water and the camera is still stuck in that hand. On the other side of the lake, Jonny slowly regains consciousness. He opens his eyes and sees that his friends are still stuck in the middle of the lake. Just then, a motorboat catches his eye. Jonny thinks that he can save everyone on the other side of the lake. Matt becomes very quiet. He remembers the old days and says that Jack always used to hold the camera and record small things. He used to take interviews of everyone. He used to dream big. Simon understands him. What we did was necessary. Otherwise, we would have died. Matt makes himself stronger. Then, to lighten the boat, he puts the necessary bags and things in the water one by one so that they reach the shore. While throwing the things, they suddenly remember that Jonny has kept his bag in the boat. They hurriedly open the bag and see that there is a small survival hatch inside. Now, they feel that there is a chance. Matt tells Simon to go to the boat. But, right then, Matt goes the normal box and the water starts to shake again. The Dino comes to the boat again. Matt tries to stop him. But, nothing happens. The Dino again pushes the boat and breaks it again. At this time, Kitty takes Jonny's hatchet and uses all her strength to hit the Dino's head once, twice, then several times. Finally, the Dino and hides in the lake. The three think that this is their only way to scare the Dino. They get some rest for a while. But, right then, a motorboat comes from. Only 3 people know that this is Jonny. He has really come to save them. And, Simon comes to Matt and says that we will finish him only if he comes here. Jonny comes to him and says that the day you threw me in the water, you didn't follow these rules. He says that you the right now. I will just untie a rope and I will pull you out. Dino attacks again and Jonny's life gets ruined. The motorboat spins around the boat and the rope gets in his neck. The rope gets tight and Jonny can't breathe. The rope gets in his and boat spins around the boat and the rope gets in his neck and boat spins the boat around boat and the motorboat and the rope gets in his neck and the boat spins around the boat and the rope gets in his boat around the boat and the rope gets in his and the boat spins and the rope gets in his neck and the boat spins around the boat and the rope. He tried his best, but everyone was killed. Park kept an eye on Simon and said, Jonny was a very good boy. He was my best friend. His subordinate found Jack's camera, and it had all the records. Simon realized that he was really trapped. Park said, Simon thought his father was influential in the city, so he would sell it. His subordinate said, come on, test your luck again. Simon wanted to go back, but Park fired a bullet. A bullet hit Simon's leg. Simon screamed in pain. And listening to that scream, the bullet hit the back of his neck. Simon tried to escape, but he was taken away. In a few seconds, it was all over. Park took his own revenge. He left Jonny's necklace there. So this is how our movie ends. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I always try to reply to everyone's comments. So don't forget to leave a nice comment. See you in the next story.